Welcome to the podcast.
I'm Braden.
I'm Bobby.
I'm Calvin.
And I'm Dylan.
So the question today that we're going to talk about is, how can we, as younger people, make money with the limited resources that we have? So what do you guys think about
So
that?
for this general topic, are we taking out like getting a traditional minimum wage job, like working at
No,
fast
yeah, we're
food,
talking
or
about like...
just unconventional
money.
ways. Does not just go to
Because that's
work.
not money.
Like
You know,
lemonade
that's work.
stand type stuff.
That's work and then money. So you're talking
Like,
about...
I'm saying like real money, not just barely money, but like how could we start something that could actually grow into a career? You know what I'm saying? Like something
so
we
not
could
lemonade
actually make a
stand.
living off of in the future, not just, oh, I need $10. Oh, I need $100. Like
I make this thing, I sell this thing.
and you
Yeah.
make it
I
into...
kinda-
Like I'm thinking like
I've kind of
selling stuff, selling services, something like that you could actually take seriously.
appropriate
Grow,
services.
Of course.
Okay, come on.
Of course.
You did not have to go there.
We did. We had to. Come on, Bobby.
We're keeping it real.
I mean, I'd pay for Dylan's OnlyFans.
That is too far.
That's staying in. So now,
We're doing no cuts. Come on, no cuts.
We're staying in. We're not taking that out.
so...
I stand by what I said.
So much work.
Make contact with the crowd, you know. So, one of the things I
My
saw...
mom's gonna watch this.
We're gonna have so many questions. The worst part will be just like, oh, what's it only?
Junior, keep pounding the
Alright,
table.
sorry.
Just keeping it real.
Okay, so that would be a way Dylan can make some money.
Yeah, but I don't know about.
I don't think
all the rest
I don't
of
know
us.
if it's legal. One of the things I saw this week that I found interesting was this video talking about how the initial thing you need to get a company running is you need a website to sell it, and then you don't buy the product. You just get a bunch of pre-orders, and then you figure out how to get the product when you already have the money from the pre-orders.
Yeah.
Ship to demand.
It's something interesting. I don't think
I
that's
saw the
career
exact same
system.
thing. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's a good. It's the
That's-
thing. I don't think you could turn that
No,
into a
yeah.
career though. You could do it with a bunch of things.
No,
probably.
you absolutely can.
Well, if that's like your opening
Because
store.
here's the thing. When
It depends on the practice.
right, here's the thing. You don't not buy anything ever. It's just when you're starting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then you're
Yeah.
not sinking initial investment. Once you have the money coming in, then you stock up, right?
Yeah.
Because then if you have delays, you're actually going to lose customers, and you're actually going to have problems. But initially, that's when you don't buy anything. You buy very minimum, and then you reinvest your profits.
Yeah.
Because that's how you
Yeah.
grow.
Isn't it true though that when you run a website to sell stuff,
Mhm.
in this case, that you have to pay
Yeah.
to keep it up?
Yeah, but then it's maybe, I don't know what the initial thing is. I know there are websites you can get that for free, right? There are.
Yeah.
You may have to pay a percentage. But even if you did want to get one that was a more high-end website, maybe you're looking to attract more expensive clients, then you would need to have a really good-looking website. Even then, and let's say you design it yourself, like $100 a year max.
It's the initial investment, yeah.
That's it. But then if you wanted to get it super good and designed, that might be a few thousand. We don't have to do that, right?
You just start with something
But
and keep going.
You could start with a free website. The only problem with that is then in the domain name, it's not going to be you. It's going to be whatever your business name is, whatever the website company is, .com, right?
Yeah.
And so everybody knows this guy's got a free website. So like that might not be as
Some
good if
people
you're
aren't smart enough to figure out.
And then
Respect
here's
for
the thing,
hustle.
though, like, certain people might care about that more than others, especially like if you're trying to attack.
I wouldn't care about that.
But if you're trying to charge people $10,000 for coaching or something like that, you're like, this guy probably does not know what he's doing if he's got a website.
If you're
like
charging
that.
him that much, though, then you have the nice website that you can.
Well, yeah, but
put your money
initially,
into.
yeah. So you probably have to build up. But like, so then, what are some things that you guys think you could sell?
It depends on what you think you could get demand in, like how you know where you're advertising, what you know would sell there.
Well, yeah.
And then, like how much you know you can get it for.
Like
So-
how much you the margins.
Yeah.
You're talking about, yeah.
like if you know a supplier, you could do like, or like, you know, you could get all these shirts for this price here, and you know they're worth like $10 more.
Yeah.
Or whatnot. Is what you could do.
Yeah.
Just make it. That would just be this quick money though, not sustainable.
The hardest part is to find customers.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's customers who want to buy anything.
You put your time into the advertising.
The marketing is the hardest and most important part.
Yeah. And making sure it's not like you're selling something super high end that like not many people buy. You probably want to sell something that everyone can buy. That's like 10.
Well,
or at
like
least
shirts.
entry level.
Like shirts or like
here's the thing though.
food.
Right? If you're selling a product for $30, or let's say $100, make the math easier, and you want $1,000 a week, right? You have to sell 10 products for $100. But if you're selling a product for $1,000, you have to sell one, right? So,
but you're less likely to if you're just starting up. Like if you're not a trusted
that
brand,
may or may not be true.
And then you have.
Because it depends on how you market yourself.
Fair
and
enough.
brand yourself. Because.
But like if you're on the free website, like you were saying.
Yeah, that's something that could be. But once you get, it's also like you could start really low, get some recommendations, and then crank your prices up.
Yeah.
And so it looks like, oh, this service is great. This is great. This is something they paid $10 for. You're now charging $1,000.
Yeah.
But they see this changed my life, so and so, whatever. I don't know, whatever they're saying.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I want to buy it now. So that's actually what I'm doing. Like, I got a bunch of referrals the last week.
Of what?
For my music, and I'm posting that on my website, hopefully tomorrow.
Maybe.
Well, my goal,
you might not have a job tomorrow.
My goal this week is to get $1,000 client. That's my goal. And you laugh, but yesterday I was on a call with a dude who's got a song with Kendrick Lamar. He's got a song with Rick Ross coming out in January or something. And he gave me his email. Like, I talked to this dude, and he gave me his email. So it's like, don't underestimate who you can reach.
Yeah.
Like, that's
the
just
thing
blew my mind.
The thing about the internet, too, is everybody's on it. So
Yeah.
everyone's out there somewhere. Someone big could see your thing and be like, oh, that's really good. You know,
Yeah.
it's because it's different. You know, maybe it's not the most high end, but it's like,
Maybe it's cheap.
I haven't seen that before. Maybe I want that.
And
from
I mean,
some smaller person.
I had never heard of this dude, but he knows all these people. Like, he's in the industry. He's been in the industry for years. He was
He can make
signed
that
in the
work.
early 2000s. So, if it's like you leverage your connections.
Yeah.
But, like, let's talk more, like, personally. What do you guys actually think? Because I know we were talking about, like, your job is ended, right?
It's dead.
It's done.
I still technically have one paycheck. And that told me what
But-
I'm gonna get.
It's like you were talking about getting a new job, but I'm thinking, like, what if you tried to sell something instead? Because that could actually make you a
Yeah.
lot more money.
And you
I
can't
was
take
thinking I was definitely getting a job, but then I started watching all these videos on how to make money without having to have a job,
Yeah.
which just seems way more appealing.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of idiots who try it though, so it's like, how do you separate yourself and actually make
Yeah.
it work
You'd have
instead
to
of
have
just
a
being
smart
all of the
planning
garbage
model,
at the
yeah.
bottom?
The thing
Okay.
about
Like, I
that,
know
though,
there's a thing like that on Amazon, like how there's all these
Yeah.
random products. People could sell things on Amazon, just make a ton off it,
But then
and put no work into it.
I don't know how that even works.
I don't know how it works, but I know it's a thing.
There's no way it's that easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no
You have to
way it's
figure out
that
the
good.
loophole to get in.
Yeah.
After that, then you
If-
can keep doing
if
it.
you don't have a regular job though, and you're spending like at least like 6 hours a day on average on this stuff, you can figure it out, and you're putting the time in.
If
gonna
you're
get
smart
experience.
enough.
The difference,
Well,
you know
look
what you're doing.
Look
yeah.
at me. I've been working on this music since the beginning of this year. I mean, I haven't seen significant results yet. Right?
Well, you're trying to get it off the ground. That's this.
But
that's
so
a
that's what
scary
I'm saying. Like, it can take time, but when it does blow up, A, it's something that I love, and then B, there's no ceiling.
Well, you wouldn't have to work for.
Pretty much,
then,
yeah.
which is
It's
the
not
awesome
work. I'm
thing.
just
It's not
having
work,
fun
it's
all
fun.
day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to get paid to do what you love to do is obviously the dream. So. Obviously, starting out though, and all that's the scary part because you've got to invest money into it. You're not going to see much.
Well, like,
maybe
if you
any
do the
money.
website thing, though, you're not really investing
Yeah,
much,
like I
just
haven't,
time.
I haven't put much.
Well, yeah,
in.
what you said at the beginning, yeah.
The only thing you've put into yours is the, like, software and stuff.
Just
Yeah,
But it's
then
stuff you
it's
wanted to
also,
play with
like,
anyway.
It's toys. That's
Yeah.
like I'm just playing.
It's pure joy.
Yeah.
It's just a big vape, and you get to have all this cool stuff, and you actually can say it's a business investment.
Money. Yeah,
Business
write it off on my
investment.
taxes.
Exactly.
No, but what's something that for you that you think, like, what's a skill you have or something that you could use to make
Monetize something you
Yeah,
can monetize.
yeah, because like I'm asking more specifically, like in your guys' individual cases.
So, are we talking more like buying, selling, flipping
Bobby
stuff?
gave
Whatever-
an example
here's
of
the
how
thing.
he's
Hold
making
up.
money off music. What can you do? Like teach something.
It doesn't
for
have
money.
to be a service. It could be you're selling a product, but I'm thinking like something that you think that you would be better than, like you have this talent, right? And so you have it anyway, and it's something you like to do. How could you make money off that?
Well, skills-based talents, I don't know. I don't know if I've really got anything like that.
I'm gonna cut in here. You're really good. Like something you could do is like teach music. Like you could teach the guitar.
Yeah, I know.
The
What's
hardest thing-
where and how.
The hardest thing about teaching guitar is finding your students. I
Our
thought
lessons
about
cost
doing that
a
at one
fortune.
point.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea. There's kind of it's kind of interesting the thing about me being a teenager. It's like I'm younger, I'm more inexperienced, but I'm more towards the age level of who I'm potentially teaching, so I can more kind of connect with them.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it's like kids, or maybe if it's teenagers closer to my age,
Yeah.
then there's more of a
You get very few
Age-based
adults. You
connection.
begin
And
a
then
lot
you
of
have
kids
a-
younger
Yeah.
than
But then you
Yeah,
know
mostly.
you're gonna know your target audience better, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
but
it's
when I
very
started
important.
when I started playing guitar, I was probably about that age. Some of them maybe younger.
But then you'll be able to connect to their problems better,
Yeah.
right? Because your grandpa's probably been playing guitar for, I don't know, a
since
long
he was
time.
like.
My
Alright.
guitar teacher.
Okay, your guitar teacher, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, you have the proximity. Like, you're right. You can remember all the things you struggle with, I'm sure.
Plus, I have the connection of being so close with him,
Yeah.
and he's been doing it
Help
for
you,
so
yeah.
long, and it's like, my students are struggling with this. Do you have a
Yeah.
suggestion? And he's like, well,
You're supposed
I always tell them it's like this or whatever.
yeah, you could just
Whatever
do.
teaching techniques.
You could do YouTube videos, or you could do like a class with videos of you. Like you have to pay so much, and then you get to watch a video every week, and then maybe if you pay more, you get to go on a Zoom call and do a lesson or something like that.
Could also do a mixture of that. So like I'm teaching in-person lessons or Zoom lessons or something like
Yeah.
that. And then I'm also taking that lesson and I'm putting it online on YouTube.
Yeah,
And it's
and
like,
you could crop out the other person and just put you. Right?
yeah,
'Cause
or
you
I
don't
could
wanna be
just or I
posting
could just
on your
record
kid.
it separately and do it faster and more towards
Yeah.
a general audience opposed to, oh, this person's struggling with
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah.
Or just general people,
Yeah.
make sure you do this or
You
whatever.
could definitely make money off that.
So something. Oh, no, you continue.
I honestly don't remember what I was gonna say.
So something I've been joking about for a couple of years now is making my own cookbook. Because we have like 3, 4, 5 cookbooks. They all are sorted in the most awful manner. And it's just been driving me nuts for years. So I'm like, what if I made my own
Like
cookbook?
Snoop Dogg's.
Because I have the good branding that could be like vegan and then food allergy friendly.
You've got
Okay.
kind of a good combo.
And to separate it from
Yeah.
other ones, my ideas would be to make it like be different, because most cookbooks is like this many cups here, like that. But a more efficient way of measuring your ingredients is weighing them. So I was thinking if you could do like a hybrid, you have your cups and then you have your weighing it, so you can do it both ways. Because weighing it's more accurate and it's more time efficient. So if you could do
Yeah.
both of that, that'd be something good you could do. And you could also like do nutrition facts, because not all cookbooks have that. So if you could have that, you'd be setting yourself apart from the competitors.
calories and
You can
I
really
don't-
easily. Plus, you've got the vegan thing, so you've got kind of the health
Yeah.
thing going
And then you
for
can also have the allergy thing. So you'd like figure out
Yeah.
the top, 12, I think. So like you'd
Yeah.
have your recipe with like no eggs. You like have ones like no anything. Maybe you could try to do it without anything. But like you have certain ones like without certain things. Because like the amounts of like the wheat free flour ones would be different. But then you'd have an option for those people, so it's like a kind of kill-all cookbook.
You'd have to experiment some, but after a while, you could get it together and get it.
And like most cookbooks are like a mix of things. It would probably be like 3 or 4 like different ones. So you get one that's just desserts, just breakfasts,
just
and then
fancy
just
dinners,
food or whatever. It'd probably be desserts and breakfasts because the rest of that stuff just not a cookbook. It's not a baking book. It's not the same kind of track that you're going for.
If you have your recipes though, then you could take like you have your regular recipes that are like allergen free and everything, and then you could take those and you could try to make spin-offs too with similar recipes, but like if you want to meet different needs. I think you can do some of that stuff online too. Like I've seen people that sell cookbooks that are like online, and you can buy the physical, or you can buy both, and the online one's usually cheaper, but then the online one also has like videos where he's talking to you about what he's doing. And so you get like an extra kind of premium for doing online, and so then that kind of has it in the online market, which is more open.
And plus, like if I could get in a bookstore, a good selling point would be me in the front of the book, like holding a spatula, flexing my arm, smiling.
Well,
I had to track all the girls.
I don't even know if you need a physical book.
No, you
just sell an ebook. You can make that on Google Docs. You can write that down in like a week.
A lot of people would want a physical book though, because you're in the kitchen. Like all the older people and stuff want the physical book.
Compared to writing the book and stuff though, having the actual book and then transcribing it online wouldn't really take that long.
No,
but I'm saying going off what we were saying earlier about you don't want to spend money. Like you don't want to pay to publish a book, right? So you
I won't
start
be
off with an ebook, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then
you could do the hustle thing, like you get a bunch of pre-orders.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like ebook and then but don't actually buy any cookbooks.
Order to demand.
And then to promote it or to get people to buy it, you could do videos of yourself cooking stuff.
And you go on the social media pages for like vegan social media pages, food allergy social media pages.
Spread yourself out.
Spread your word.
Well, you could even like just post like a picture of something that you made from the cookbook and be like, "Oh, look at how delicious this is!" And
where'd you make that?
And it's whatever free, and it's got this many calories, and look at how good this is.
And it's from this cookbook. Yeah. Oh, look at who's on the front of that cookbook.
That Instagram.
Wow.
Images don't perform as well though on social media. Like,
but like if it's a food thing,
there's a lot of people who just post food though.
But
that's something you could post every day though if you make something from the cookbook.
You could also literally just screen record it and make it a short video, like a 1-second video, and then if it loops, like if you're looking at it and the video's looping, every second counts as another view.
Really?
Right? They may have fixed it, but as of a little while ago, that was one way to get a lot of good exposure because the algorithm thinks you're getting crazy amounts of views.
That's kind of cool.
I think they probably fixed it.
Probably. You never know.
I actually have a question about that because I was looking into that kind of stuff because I was interested in it. And I was wondering because I didn't quite understand how that... I understand that like if you posted something on YouTube, for example, you can get money through views, but you have to be like... I don't really understand how that works.
YouTube, you sign up for add something.
Yeah.
That's where they play a video before, right?
Yeah, it's where they play the
ads.
Yeah. I knew it was calling point. It'll come to me, I'll just yell it and you'll know.
Yeah, that'll be good. So do any of you know how those amounts work? Like how many views or subscribers you need to get any amount of money? Don't you you need to get like 4,200 views, I thought the number was at some point, a month to even be qualified to get money. I thought. You have to have a certain number of subscribers. Is that over all your videos though? Yeah, everything you post for a month needs to get
So
like
YouTube,
views.
how it works is there's a page that the creator sees with like their views. I think it even goes down to like views per minute or whatever. Like how many views per hour you get. So it tells you your views and stuff. Like I've seen videos, people showing it off. Like bigger views. Oh, look how many views I have there. And then it just counts your views overall. So those are some of the ways so what's your way? Brayden has his guitar lessons. Bobby has his music store. I was talking about a cookbook. What about you?
Well, I was wondering about the YouTube thing because I don't really think I can make much money off of this, but I really like I like the idea of potentially recording something and then doing a video with it and trying to put it out there. And the problem with that, though, is
What
you
are you
have to
recording?
get so much ground to actually get enough views.
Are you
to
just
make
talking
money.
about being
recorded?
I'm talking about potentially, like, the easiest thing that I think would be fun to do would be if I recorded, like, a cover of something. I think that would be really...
cover
that would be
songs.
something that I would enjoy, that I would really like to be able to do, but
That's a good
I don't think I would be able to get enough traction in a long, long
Right.
while to get any
I don't think
So-
there's not much traction in
Right.
cover things, but if any of y'all want to make a Weird Al cover band with me, I'm down.
A cover band?
Exactly.
Oh.
Except how Weird Al sits similarly to these, like the instruments and stuff. You'd be changing up so it's a cover of it.
Yeah, with more triangle.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah,
Some crazy gimmick.
That's how
Cut it
I'm
and
gonna
add
make my
something else.
millions,
For
guys. You guys do your own
$8,000,
thing.
I'll produce your album.
See, it's all coming full
That's my
circle.
sales pitch.
No, you can be part of the project now. You're
For
the- you're the
$8,000, I
drum-
should
No,
pay.
no, I know you don't want to charge.
That'll
us,
be
man.
petty cash afterwards.
No, I would always charge you guys.
Wow, great friend.
My
Nice
service
man,
is worth
alright.
money, man. What was I saying? No, you were saying... Okay, so with the covers, that's not a bad idea. You won't make money off the covers themselves, right?
Mhm.
But if you can get people to like it, then you can get them to buy something else from you related to it, right? So you're not selling the covers. Maybe you make your own solo album or something like that.
Mhm.
Maybe you're selling, I don't know.
But getting to music
But
is a
some-
really hard way to
That
make
is
money.
hard, right? But my point is, though, you have to have a product, and then you have to find a way to get people to it,
Yeah.
right? And so the
That's-
covers could
that's the
serve
way.
as the means, but it won't be the end.
Yeah.
Well, you could just do like covers and stuff, and then some original stuff, and then
merch.
you could just like
Oh,
I don't know, do
We will
that.
have merch for this someday.
I'm talking
could-
swimsuits. And
No one has swimsuit merch. That's a
good
good
point.
idea. That's a good
You gotta have
idea.
those hard to get items.
That'll
like
be in the
socks.
future.
Well, no, socks is a
Socks
common
are-
thing. But if you do like swimsuits and bikinis, top notch.
Oh,
Well,
I so want my.
That was something.
So with the covers, that could possibly go hand in hand with teaching lessons. Like if you're playing something that's complicated on guitar or something that's popular on guitar, you can
Insane
teach.
vocal line.
That
Yeah.
could be advertisement for your lesson.
Yeah, like look how I can play. you
Look at
know?
this kid.
I-
That's because you could do him as it.
I-
Look at
yeah,
this!
yes,
They're twins.
they'll think it's
You think
me.
it's you?
Yeah, because I was gonna say I don't want to teach lessons. Cause
And
in
he
general,
doesn't
I
want
Dude,
to
you
feel
should
like-
start a business.
Because he could, like, you could
And you can
split it
produce it.
He called it mirror business.
for money, yeah. If you pay
Mirror
for money.
Well,
How
actually,
about
a percentage, yeah.
A percentage is the only
Split
way.
it 30,
It's only the fair way because we would
2%.
make no money for a long time, but maybe with time.
Actually, I wouldn't mind. That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Except you'd overcharge us. You would be in
30%.
debt. Well, 30%.
33%.
Yeah.
I'm saying like
It's
8
easier to
grand
say-
for the Weird Al album, so I'm just
Oh, the
It's
Weird
just
Al
one-
album's gonna
the
be awesome.
Weird Al album goes with
Eight
it.
I think
grand
that's
is
an
my-
excellent idea.
$8,000 is my album fee.
The Weird
And
Al-
you wouldn't have to pay
So-
because they're parodies, which goes outside of copyright law.
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Copyright.
So and then every
Wait,
record
if you're
comes with a
covering a
cookbook.
parody,
I think Weird Al.
wait. If you're covering a song that Weird Al parodied, really the real version is a parody of his parody, if you think about it. So
Ah.
That's true, it actually is.
Well,
But you're
it
making-
is, but it wasn't written as a
No, I
parody.
know.
It
You're
was
taking
I'm
his
just-
parody as its own individual song. And
Yeah.
you're doing that.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about the one before. You're just
Yeah.
scrapping that.
Yeah, that really does.
I didn't even know that version existed. I thought Weird Al wrote this song.
That's happened before.
He's a creative guy. He's
I
got
don't-
so many
I
good
do not
songs.
think he created any song that you hear of his.
He's got some
No,
polkas that go pretty
there's
hard.
the presidential
man.
one. There's the presidential one that he actually wrote. And then
Weird
he
Al's
actually
got
wrote-
some crazy polkas. Man. You just put that.
That
on.
Weird Al
Those
movie
are-
looks pretty crazy.
There's a Weird Al movie.
There's a
Yeah,
new one.
it's like the
It's
Elton John and Bohemian Rhapsody movie.
Did he actually date Madonna?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
It's like that.
I don't think that happened, but
It was in
Wait,
the
look
trailer.
that up.
I kind of doubt that
Did
Weird
Weird
Al
Al-
dated Madonna, but in the movie,
In
it
the
looked-
trailer,
in the trailer, I
he
didn't see the
did.
movie. In the trailer, it looked like he did.
Yeah, which that's weird. He's like the last guy you would think.
Well, yeah, in the trailer, he's
Anybody,
like, "Oh,
dude,
hi,
he'd
I'm
probably
Madonna."
Die alone.
Wait, what?
He's still alive.
Weird
so-
Al and Madonna?
That's the first thing that comes up. Despite what the movie depicts, Weird Al also had an explicit,
And excellent.
excellent,
Oh,
supportive
okay.
relationship with his parents. He rarely drank and never did any drugs. So it looks like the movie is
I think
all
the movie was
fabricated.
Inaccurate.
Weird Al's not on drugs.
And he's not.
Most
dating
importantly,
Madonna.
he never actually dated Madonna.
What a ripoff.
What a stupid
We're not going to
movie.
this movie.
Wow.
They just
No,
lost
we're gonna
4
get sponsored
tickets.
by them for the next one.
Yeah, now that we drank their name through the mud.
Yeah.
Some people might think that any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, I think that's ran by Roku or something, so I think they know a bit better.
Yeah, they probably do
That
okay.
sucks.
I
I'm
mean,
so
yeah.
proud of
Why
you.
would
lie
Why
that.
would they show that?
Because
was a big
we were
part.
gonna go. We were gonna go because Weird Al
Well,
this day.
yeah, and it's like, wait, Weird Al dated Madonna?
Yeah, but they also show him
That's
doing
exactly why.
drinking and drugs
Yeah, so,
and
He doesn't.
bad parents, which doesn't really.
I
fit
kind of doubt it's a
well.
very accurate representation of his life now.
We should film a movie
What would your movie be about? Money.
ourselves. our self biography.
And you
Such
say you're
more
not
interesting
narcissistic.
lives than
This
everyone
would be
It's
like
not
a-
narcissistic. It's just.
You realize
for the
this would
good
be
of
like
the
a
future.
20-minute movie.
else. It's just self-love, man.
It's not a movie. It's one episode to a show. It's the
My
pilot
life
that
is
they
like a
take
TV
off.
show because it's like nothing ever happens until
Seinfeld.
something really funny happens.
It's Seinfeld.
Once
You know
a
what I'm saying?
week.
Like once a
That's-
week, give or
that's the
take.
episode,
There's
right
something that happens. Like this is probably something.
This is the something for sure.
Yeah. I don't know what my sitcom. It's not.
It's a show about
What's
nothing.
it about? It's not really Seinfeld.
It's a show about something.
It's probably more like Community. No.
Yeah,
it's
and it
not,
goes downhill at the
It's
end.
not.
son.
It's not as crazy as Community was. It's not
Maybe
The
had some
Office. 'Cause
crazy stuff going on.
It's not The Office because it's
Place
like
your
usually
workers.
my adventures are outside of work.
Yeah,
How
and
many
then he
adventures
tells
are in
about
it,
his
though?
adventures inside work.
It's not really Friends because usually.
This is really entertaining topic. Let's go back to our topic of money.
After that rant,
So,
money.
does anyone else have anything else to say on the front of starting a business right now?
Starting-
So there's also the prospect of making something. 'Cause
Inventing something?
It's not inventing. It's making something, but making it customizable. So
like a T-shirt, for example.
I'm saying something where it's like someone is telling me how they want, cause
Making a custom
Something-
bird feeder for grandma.
something in the guitar world that I have seen before is people make out of wood custom pedal boards that are sometimes like I saw Paul Gilbert. He had one that was kind of weird. He had like an offset area because he had a couple pedals that were always on. type
Funky
thing.
feet.
And he has big feet, so he wanted a lot of space.
Don't,
Hold it!
don't make fun of Paul Gilbert.
He's pretty awesome.
They sound pretty
So-
funky.
but-
Sitting's so weird.
But it's like sometimes people like it to be like you've got half of it down here and then you've got part of it elevated because it's just more comfortable for other foot. But it's kind of an interesting idea that I could technically buy cheap wood to make the base and like any other extensions of it, and then I would just have to buy the
if you're
Velcro
buying
stuff
cheap
that you put
wood,
down.
people are going to know that's cheap wood. It's made
Probably.
out of real, authentic plywood with some particle board.
The idea is not that the wood is nice. The idea is that it's customizable.
Oh, yeah,
so
well,
it's like
if
You
I
can
want
do different
that as-
tiers.
But
of
if you
it.
have it like,
I
yeah.
want this like this. Type
It
thing.
seems like that would only be for higher end. That's not for like entry level customers because most people would
No.
just use the
Well, yeah,
standard or
it
nothing
does
at all.
not. It does not go well with the whole lessons thing.
You'd
with
have to have a
beginners.
platform to do that.
Alright, here's
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be in conjunction.
That'd be
with
one of a
platform
few
to
products.
Put it out.
Here's the other thing, like with something as artisanal,
Artistic.
no, like you know the word artisan.
Artistic.
No, artisan.
Artisan.
Like high craftsmanship, you know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
something that's like
Something
that.
is art.
Everything that you're selling is going to take you a lot of time,
And
right? Because
and you
you're
need
going to
the
take your
platform.
time to make it right. And so that's going to be hard to make a god-awful amount of money with. Like, you can make a living.
This is more
Right.
a side thing. On top
Yeah,
of something
but I'm
else.
saying, like, if you're making custom stuff, you're going to have to make it, right? That's going to take time. If Calvin's selling ebooks, he doesn't have to do anything.
Hey, I gotta write it.
Well, hold
Well,
up.
you're
No,
one
no, no.
commitment.
But my
That's
point
one
is,
and done,
though,
yeah.
that is so easy to scale,
Yeah.
right? Because every time somebody buys it, you don't have to do anything. For him, though, every time somebody buys it, he has to put in all this work and do all this.
I'd
And
have
so
to
then
make more off of
Calvin
each
will
one.
have a much easier time making a god-awful amount of money than you, right? And so that's something to think about.
Well, if it's something that I enjoy doing, though, that's also part of it. Like,
Yeah, of
I
course.
think it's fun
of
in my
course.
free time to sit down
Yeah.
with someone and to design something, then go home or go wherever and make it. And
You'd
then
be
sell it.
calling the person.
Yeah.
You don't wanna be
Well, that's
calling.
the
You
thing
can't
is,
try.
if somehow you did scale that to the level where you were having like hundreds or thousands of clients, that's when you would then hire people that would do the manufacturing.
Well,
for
if
you.
I had
You would
hundreds,
just sit
if I
behind.
had hundreds of thousands of clients, it would be more like a thing where there's certain
Just
designs. that I
Hundreds
have
or
people
thousands is what I
Yeah,
said.
not hundreds of
Hundreds
thousands.
of thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. and you'd be
Millions.
in it.
Making it.
You
It
didn't
depends
have to
on
do
your
anything.
empire.
This would be more like a hobby job type thing. That's part of my.
Etsy.
That's part of.
Yeah.
It's part of my career. Like if I owned a music store, I'm selling like
Yeah.
music related stuff, and then it's like I also make.
How's
these
that gonna
custom
make you
handlebars.
millions, bro?
Yeah.
Well, the idea.
But, Brian, you're too humble.
We're talking about, like, money. We're not
He's-
talking about living.
Okay,
We're
the
talking
thing
about
about Brian
money.
is though he doesn't want the million.
Don't you want?
He's too liable.
No,
Don't you
I
want
want the
the
millions,
Bugatti
but I
and
want a
Emerald
career that would be fun,
badge?
and I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it would be fun to make stuff, to teach, and to
What
just.
color is the emerald?
I think they're white.
Yeah.
The emerald was green though.
That was a nice
That
watch.
was a nice watch. Alright. Sidetrack.
No, but, like, this is kind of a sidetrack, but, like, something I see, right? The purpose of money is freedom, right?
Yeah.
To get freedom of your time, freedom from having to work for somebody and do what they say, right?
Part of it is also though, like when you have a lot of money, you're gonna keep making more. You're gonna keep trying to get more.
Yeah, that's what I'm going into, though. Like, but something I see with a lot of these people who are like, oh, all I do is work and I make so much money and all. You're still not free, right?
Yeah.
Because you're now a slave to your work. You're a slave to yourself.
Even if
You're a
you
slave
like
to your money, right? And the point of the money, then now you're killing the whole point.
But
So
then
it's
there's
like-
also people out there who are just living life with their money too, doing whatever the heck they want. whenever they
Exactly,
want.
which is good. Well, it's good if you do it in a moral way, right?
Yeah.
In concept.
You have to have the freedom to be good, right? The goal to have money is to have the freedom to be good. So, like right now, I'm working so much I don't have time to do everything I should be doing. Right? I don't have time to read, or I don't have enough time to work out as much as I'd like. I don't have time to eat healthy. Right?
That's an excuse. That's the most
That is-
common
yeah.
excuse in the fitness
Well, yeah.
industry. I don't have time to
Well,
eat.
also I don't
healthy.
need to because my metabolism
Well,
is
yeah, I
like,
hear you.
incredible.
But that is
But
the
in
most
10 years-
common
Hold
excuse.
on. But, like, well, yeah, and also that's another reason I don't prioritize it, right?
Mhm.
It's not a priority to me right now because I don't need to. Because look at how fit and muscular I am, right? I don't need
the
any.
hoodie on, yeah.
Oh, you need to take the hoodie off.
No.
Should I go like flex for this whole podcast?
So I feel like that kind of ties into what I was saying though, because that's
Yeah.
obviously that's not like I'm making a boatload of money a year, you know.
Yeah.
That's more like I'm doing what I love, so I don't care that I'm not making as much money as they are.
Well, I would
That's
say
hilarious.
make hella money so that you don't have to.
That's
but
another
then
way to
don't,
look at it.
But then don't become a slave to your work, right? Because if you're making
It all
You could
depends on
say-
the work, though. Some work you can't really become a slave to.
like what?
I'd say, like, if you were... What were we talking about? Like, the books. There's no way you could become a slave to. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make a new cookbook.
Well,
I think it'd be really hard unless you're crazy to think I need to keep making more cookbooks.
More like
Make millions
Because-
off a cookbook though.
Well,
is
here's the
kinda
thing though, like the
unrealistic.
cookbook.
It will watch me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
Favorite
true,
word,
but
2 words.
once you get to a certain point, you gotta diversify, right?
Well, yeah, of course. You can't just make.
And at that
cookbooks,
point, it's much easier because it's like,
like let's
well,
say.
now I've finished my work for this company, but I have 7 more.
the
to work on.
table.
Okay, I'm sorry. You gotta emphasize my.
Not by pounding the table.
But also on that though is that with diversifying products and not wanting to be a slave to
Yeah,
your work and
products.
working forever,
Right.
if you work on your products though, and if you do that for like 10, 20 years, that's like less time than most people usually are in the working world anyway. And all you're doing is developing products. You're not actually doing.
Well, let's
Regular
say,
work.
let's go back to the cookbook. I have a quick thought on the
Right.
cookbook. Let's say you sell a couple thousand, not a couple
Right.
thousand, like 100,000, okay? People know your cookbook. They really like, okay, you made something
It's
really
popular.
good. How would you continue from there? Like, let's say you have maybe 5, and you've like sold.
You've covered every meal.
You've
dessert,
done a lot of
everything.
stuff like
Got
that,
the
okay?
smooth. You just released.
You
the
have a
smoothie
lot
book.
of cookbooks.
Cooking show.
You can't really go. You could do that, open restaurants.
Yeah,
Because
there
you
are
have-
so
then
many
you-
options.
Like, if you're smart and use your face, and you have your face too, then you could do the cooking show.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
cooking show would be pretty hard, but like,
You
you
have
could
a competition
actually
type
do it
job.
like as a YouTube
Once you're
format.
that
thing.
rich, you could do.
Oh, Lord.
Once you have the capital, right?
Well,
Because here's the
fair.
thing.
But if it's like 100,000, I don't know if you could easily get on. Because you still need
Well, the
half a
network would
good
probably-
personality to
The
be on
network
TV.
would probably sign you, right?
Yeah.
They give a lot.
If you have a good idea too.
Have a good.
Even a generic
Show
cooking
format.
show, if you already
Generic cooking shows suck. You gotta be original.
If you become huge, though, like you can kind of do things that are just slightly different. And it's like, oh, it's this person. I like this person. I think they're entertaining. I think they're really good.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try
exactly.
that. I like that. Like Gordon Ramsay has how many different shows that are this similar type thing. I mean, they're
I
all
have no idea.
They're all different.
he has like 5, 6, 10 different shows.
10
They're all-
shows?
They're all
Look at
different,
that.
but they're
Look at
they're
these
similar.
Well, not
He's
series,
screaming
just
at
shows.
people because they're not as good
He's
as
screaming.
he is.
He's cussing.
Yeah, I mean, some of it he's going to people's restaurants. Some of them he's like Hell's
But it's
Kitchen.
the same
He's
thing.
he's teaching people and yelling at them.
He's got a
because
ton
they're
of
not as good
Michelin
as him.
stars.
And he's got all these different shows. They're all they're all at least were super popular when they came out, and they're all
Well, part of what's
This
kept
is
him
similar.
in the public eye so much is he has the brand of swearing and screaming
he's
at
iconic.
everyone.
He's iconic. Yeah,
He's iconic.
Well, and the other thing
everyone
is,
knows. What
Like
he
he's
is.
now even like in Mr. Beast videos.
Yeah,
like
he's
you
everywhere.
can learn from that though, because people don't want new things. Really, they want something familiar that's a little bit different.
I think that's
Right?
not that's
true to a point.
There's 2 types of people. There's people who want familiar and there's people who want crazy new.
This is something I read. If you're trying to sell something new, make it seem familiar, and if you're trying to sell something familiar, make it seem new.
Well, that might be true for selling things. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about like in general,
Yeah.
like politically. Either you want to stay more old or you want to go
Yeah.
crazy new.
Okay, but
Yeah.
just from the point of selling stuff, you can take stuff and repurpose it with little twists, and people will buy it.
Like
Grubby
there's
Daddy.
this thing I
Like
saw
how you're
with the
saying with the 7
iPhone.
different shows.
There's
Yeah,
this thing I said with the
That's
iPhone. They at the beginning they had the curve to the screen.
Mhm.
Then they went straight edges,
Mhm.
curve, and now they're back to straight edges to the 14 and stuff. They keep rotating between these 2 things
Yeah.
to make it seem new, but it's
now
actually
it's
old.
like, oh, now we got curved, and then they could just put it in the ads.
It's like
yeah.
you had curved edges 2 years ago.
But it's not like the curved edges were like it is funny like the original phone curved. It's just
You know what
funny
I
to
saw
look
the
at.
other day? I saw, well, actually, it was a few months ago because I had an assignment I had to write about an ad. I saw an ad for the new iPhone. It was a few months ago.
14.
It's like, it's waterproof, water resistant.
They were
I was like,
advertising
man,
that.
this has been water resistant for like 15 years.
I thought the main thing of the iPhone 14 is if you get the 14 Pro, because then you get like the dynamic island thing.
What is it, dynamic?
So the top notch of the phone is now like a little pill shape,
Yeah.
and things go up there. Like a call, it rings up there. Like if you're listening to music, it starts playing up there. It's pretty cool. It's not, but like
It's a small.
when you look
thing,
at the iPhone, I look at the 11, and then I look at the 14. I'm like, that's the only difference. There's been the
It's no
12,
innovation.
There's been the 12 and 13. I don't know what's special about this one. They literally, when I see them, that looks just like my phone.
Yeah. It's probably, It's a small improvement.
It's because they can no longer find big jumps to make.
Well, and also their branded, their marketing and advertising is so good, and or it has been good in the past that people just
Something else
want the iPhone because it's iPhone.
Something else interesting about the iPhone is they're always years behind the competition. Like, people have said Apple is making a flip phone like Samsung has, but like they haven't
been
really
doing
seen
that
it.
like 4 years ago.
Samsung?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now Apple's might release theirs like with the iPhone. I think it's 17 people are
But
predicting.
then the Apple people who think that's cool, they can't buy the Samsung ones. They have to
Yeah,
wait for
Apple has a
release
cult loyalty,
one. Yes, then people.
which is pretty
Tell you,
clever.
people will buy it.
Okay, so continuing to talk on money, we've talked about creating businesses, but let's talk about how money, you have to make sure what you're giving is worth the money. Because other people have worked for it, so you need to make sure what you're doing has value above other people's things. We touched on it briefly, but it's something you really need to make sure. What makes your thing specialer than the other random guy who's doing
That is
it?
a hard.
How do you beat the
Here's
competition?
the thing. It doesn't have to be better, right?
It has to get more
It
people
has to
seeing.
be. No, not even that. It has to be. You have to find the niche, right? Because there's a niche of people that each of them wants a different thing.
But what if you don't
Right.
have a niche? Like
Well, then
the
you screwed
guitar
up. You
lesson.
have to
Gonna
find a
get
niche.
money. Guitar lessons. Are
Like
hard
guitar
ones.
lessons, there's no niche, but
Well, no. You
It
could find
depends.
a niche, right? You could say, I target my teaching towards teenage guitar players who are starting to learn guitar, right?
it's still similar to the random guy who's just teaching guitar.
Okay,
you
but
try
I
to
just
more
try
of a
to
niche.
throw out
Well, if my
guarantees,
niche
too.
is I'm a teenager that's teaching teenagers, so
yeah, so it's like
that
more
type of thing.
relatable. I mean, yeah, but I'm saying
It's
like
harder with that one.
when you find, you don't have to be better. You have to be better at something. You don't have to be better. You have to have a comparative advantage.
Yeah.
Right, that's much more important than having an absolute advantage. Like, you do not need an absolute advantage.
Fair.
So, but the key is just to find what your advantage is, because you're gonna
maximize.
exactly, yeah.
Or build your thing around it, like an idea. Like, I know, like on Shark Tank, they say, think of something every day that bothers you, and then fix it, and then sell it. Because that's what half the idiots on Shark Tank are doing.
Yeah.
Like the stupid sponge thing with the smiley face.
What?
That thing
They
is
like
so
clean the
big.
sponge, you stick it in the mouth. Those people make a couple million off that stupid sponge.
It's just a sponge, and the only new thing is the smile.
shape.
Like you can like
You can
do
put a
it to
spoon
clean
in it?
spoons. That is their innovation, and that is one of the biggest companies I think that's come out of Shark Tank.
I think Ring was on Shark Tank.
Yeah, Ring was on Shark
He
Tank, but
didn't
no
get a
one bought
deal
it.
though.
He did.
Which
He
was
came
awesome
back.
because then he came back as a shark and he was super rich just like them, but none of them wanted his company that made so much money. That was great.
I would have
I
invested.
don't know what Shark Tank is.
You know what Shark Tank is?
Shark Tank?
It's that show with the 5 millionaires who invest in new starting
They
companies.
give them a pitch about their company, and they got like
Yeah, like they
prototypes
say-
and stuff.
Hi, this is my name and this is my product. Then they give a quick, this is what it is, this is what I'm
And they
fixing
give them
type
the
thing.
margins
And then they're like, I want $400,000 and you get a 10% of
Stake.
my company. And then they're like, okay, I'll give you the $400,000, but I want 25% because your company sucks, but I think it's kind of good. Sometimes they'll be like, I'll give you more money, but I want more of your company type thing.
or
It's,
just more.
It's just open negotiating to get investment.
it's a cool
Sounds
show.
cool.
What I-
Talking about investment, I firmly believe in staying away from getting an investment in your company. Because if your company's not
Yes.
all yours, or like all yours and your partners or whatever, it's not worth running.
So I would say
Yeah.
save up more money before you start spending money, so then you don't have to take
I would
on
say
investors.
don't save up. You don't need the money saved.
Right.
Well, it
As we
depends
were
on
saying,
what
you
it is.
get the website, you get the orders, then you
Yeah.
buy the stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
then
that
you're
can-
not in danger of
You're
losing
making-
any money.
Yeah, you can't lose
Well,
money.
here's
but
the other
you just
thing,
can't.
though. The kind of companies we're talking about probably are not going to get put on the stock market.
Fair.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that's not the type of companies that would go on the market.
But like you could
But
still
if
like
we
have
were-
local
If
investors.
we were investing no, I wouldn't do that. But if you,
But
were-
you could.
but if you like invented something, then there's definitely
Then you have to go through trademarks and all that.
I don't know anything about this. Like, I'm not going to pretend I know.
Yeah.
If you take on like one investor and they have like 10%, and that gets you like all the products that you need for like the first couple years to start selling them and making money, so then you can reinvest it in the products, then that's not necessarily
The other thing with that
No,
too,
that is a bad thing because you're just being lazy.
yes,
You do you get your website, you have your pre-orders, then you're not losing the money, and then like
Well, that works
you
for certain
you
products,
get all
but
your
not for
products
others.
like for the first year or so, like you said.
Mhm.
Okay, so you got all your products. They get that 10%. They're not contributing anything. They get
That's
that 10% forever
Here's what they're contributing.
until they don't want it.
Here's what they're contributing. If it's like a
Jump
Shark
start.
Tank situation, you get their name because they're big millionaires.
Not necessarily.
That is part
That's
of
if
it,
they're
though.
on Shark Tank.
They put if it's like a Shark Tank situation, if it's just
Not
some
Shark
random,
Tank,
if it's
most
some
people are
random
on Shark
guy,
Tank. It's just some
then it's
random
nothing.
investor half the time who
Then there's no
you
reason
get
to do
money
it.
from.
Yeah.
So then you're losing 10% of your company unless you can get it back. From
I
the
guess
Yeah.
taking on investors too depends on where you're at. Like if I'm 50 years old and I hate my job and I'm not making good money and I'm like, well, sure, I'll take this money to get my company going so I can start just living with something that I
Yeah.
like doing. Whereas like when you're younger, it's kind of like
We
you have
live in
plenty
our
of time to
parents'
save
house.
up.
We
Yeah.
don't have any
Sure,
expenses.
I
and
saw
that's,
this thing about how you're in your parents' house. You massively screw up. You still have food in the room.
Exactly.
and
That's what I'm
everything.
saying. That's why I wanted to talk about this, because this is the best time to start. Because
Yeah.
there is zero risk.
Zero.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case, you waste a little bit of your time.
Whereas
But-
Maybe
use
money.
all your
But-
money. If you waste your time, you're not completely screwed.
But you still
But
got
you're
free time
also
and
learning valuable skills, right?
Yeah.
Even if you screw up, you learn more from your mistakes.
the
than
money
you could
might
from
be
anything
worth the
else.
skills you earn.
Exactly.
Doing it.
And marketing and stuff, which is most important part of this, if you can learn to market, you can just sell marketing and you can make an insane amount of money. Like, you can
Yeah.
just market and that's it. Or do writing, copywriting. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but
I've heard of it. If that looks.
it's like basically you write the text for ads. And there's this like certain psychological things that you have to figure out. But that's something I've been learning. And that's something people pay a lot for as well. So it's like even just these skills that you're learning to start your own business, you could sell those skills just as themselves.
What's copywriting in HU?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh,
be where you're
not what I watched, but I learned it from somebody else, but
Thieves.
where's that going?
Why would you steal from the top G?
Oh my god.
Continue.
I lost my train of thought. I was so like irritated.
going.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of this here this here episode of the
This
podcast.
is the first episode.
Wait,
Okay, cut that. We're not saying it's the first.
Why not?
We might record something else later and then have multiple stored up.
This is a good first episode. I think the first should be the first.
We'll see.
All right, whatever. We'll keep this. It's fine.
Whatever.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up, any closing thoughts on business? This has pretty much all been about business and starting a business when you're young. I think the key takeaways is, as you were saying, you're young. It's the best time to do anything.
Start
You have
now.
no risk. You have food. You have a house.
I mean,
You're fine.
how much time does it really take? That's the thing. Last thing I want to say. Like, you could. Any amount of time you have is enough, right? If you have an hour a day and you put an hour a day hard work, focused work, no phone, no distractions, and you really maximize that hour, it'll take you a lot longer than if you were working all day, but you'll do it. If you have, like, I probably work 2 hours, usually hour and a half to 3 hours I have to work in my business a day with my other job. And that's, I think that will be enough, at least for now, because I'll get to the point where I can start taking less hours, right?
Yeah.
But 2 hours a day, you spend 1 hour working on marketing, you spend 1 hour making yourself better at whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's plenty.
Yeah, or you
Time
could
well
spend
spent.
more than that, like if you have multiple
If you
ventures.
have more than
Like,
time,
let's
yeah.
say I was doing my cookbook, and I was also going to teach guitar.
Yeah.
You could
I
do
wouldn't-
multiple at
I actually
once.
wouldn't do that.
But
I
you
would
could.
say
If you're saying it could only strictly take 2 hours, you have no job.
Well,
No, don't have a job.
Say
No,
the,
no, but
say the
I
guitar
would
lesson.
say invest all your time into one thing until that thing
But
starts
at some point,
working.
your time starts in a day. Your time starts not. Doing
No,
much.
but
If you're-
here's the thing, though.
Like, certain-
If you have one thing, maybe you're only working directly on it for a couple hours, but then you're doing other things that'll help you, like read a book or watching videos to learn soft skills that help you, like I'm talking about with marketing and copywriting, which may not actually be what you're selling.
Well, yeah,
but
but
it'll help you.
that's the same thing as I said. Put your other time in other things, not just like copyright.
Oh, I
be
thought you
another
were saying
venture.
start two businesses.
No, I was saying if you
I was
have
like,
other ventures.
no,
But
okay,
it's
I
like-
just misunderstood
Like
what you're
in other
saying.
ventures, like how you are working a job, but you got the business, which is
Yeah.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
And it's like you're working the job, so you get working experience and you can make some money, but the business is what you want to do. You kind of have to
Yeah,
find the
because I'll be able to buy a
balance.
house just off my other job.
Yeah.
Really.
So you're using that
Assuming
for
that I
resources.
start selling a little bit, just a little bit, with the current hours I'm working, I'll be able to buy a house. Even if I only sell,
Then you have the risk, and then you have to keep a job. Then you lose your freedom.
I have
As
my
you were
freedom already. This is
I
bonus
know,
money.
but then you're stuck. If you buy a house, then you have to keep paying your mortgage, your bill, your electric bill, your water bill.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
You have to then keep doing that, though. So then you have to keep your money
Yeah.
constantly flowing.
Actually, I just changed out my business plan, right? Because for my business, I was doing Instagram posts, and I was selling leases for like $30. But then now I'm pivoting to going on live calls, like with industry people on an app called Clubhouse, where they just talk about stuff. I just started doing this last night, and I met that guy I talked about. Like, that was the first time.
Wow.
I was like,
That's pretty good.
woo!
Some good results for
Yeah,
the first time.
and so I'm targeting higher profile clients for much higher prices, and then instead of selling something that I've already made, I'm going to pitch that I will actually produce a song versus selling a beat. Like, I'm going to make it how you want it, tailored exactly how you want it, do it exactly, but you're going to pay me a lot of money.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell
Yeah,
it.
but
For
it's
big
gonna
client, though.
but it's
Yeah.
going to be perfect how you want.
And then
it.
also, instead of just selling songs, I'm going to try to sell a package where I might produce a tape or an album for somebody rather than just a few songs. Because if I'm saying, oh, I charge $1,000 for a song, but if you want 12 songs, that's $7,000. You're getting half off. That's a great deal. Now I got $7,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, because the deal makes it more like,
And
oh, that's a
it's
good deal.
It's
I
the
should
price
take
framing,
that.
right? Because now it looks like you get half off. It's like, and then you say, let me say I charge $10,000, but it's all mixed and mastered, and now it's like, oh, for just a little bit more, it's all perfect. You don't have to worry about anything else,
Probably a couple thousand more value. Yeah.
and then you get even more value, and it's like. Right, and then, or I could try to sell a $30 lease to 1,000 people.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not happening. No way.
Yeah, it's the bigger product versus little product dilemma.
Yeah.
So our closing takeaways are, when you're young, it's the best time to start a business and take risks.
Yeah.
You can make more money like this, potentially, than just working a regular minimum wage-ish job.
Yeah, and you can also
For
do
sure.
what you want to do.
And
It's
then
more
you get
fun.
more free time and you enjoy yourself more.
Yeah.
Not even that you enjoy yourself more, but you have more time to maximize yourself. Like, you have time to read, you have time to
Which
go
is
to the
enjoying
gym.
yourself.
You have
Well-
free time even.
Yeah, but even to some people, it's not about enjoyment, right? Like, for me, I don't think about enjoying myself. I think about becoming the best I could be.
Fair enough.
Little self-boost there.
There you go.
Gotta build yourself up somehow.
Yeah.
What are your closing thoughts, Braden?
I mean, I agree. I think another thing that's good about it is that it's like you put in however much work you need to in your own time, because you also work from home probably. So it's like he said before, I'm working really hard, really focused for an hour, and then the rest of your day's free to do whatever. Whereas if you're going to a potentially minimum wage job, they're just paying you by how many hours you work. Whereas at home, it's how hard you work, and it's just depending on how many hours it takes you. So it could potentially be much shorter days, more money, more fun, more free time. It's just a win all around. And it's more creative. You're bettering yourself. Yeah. It just could be perfect.
Something interesting. You know, like the flow state you get into? Have you ever had that?
Yeah.
You get that. You get deep work, which is focused, good, high productive work. Most people about 4 hours max per day. That's it. So why do we have an 8-hour work day?
Yeah.
8 to 10 hours. Well, like, that's ridiculous. You should have...
If you're doing grunt work.
A break of... You should have an hour and a half-hour break, or like 2 hours, half-hour break, 2 hours, and then you're done. That's it. And because you can only focus for 2 hours at once without a break. That too. And
part
then
of it is grunt work is still
and then
mindless. You don't have to focus.
Keeping you distracted.
If you're working in the factory, I have to pound this nail.
Yeah.
Here comes the next one.
True. But like, let's say you're working on, you spend 2 hours improving your skill, 2 hours marketing, and then the rest you can do. And then there may be other work you have to do that's not as focused, right? Like you could post your stuff or reply to comments or whatever, but that can be like your brain's half off. So yeah, that's something interesting.
Yeah.
What's your final thoughts?
Well, honestly, I feel like when you think about this kind of stuff, the only reason that you would possibly do something and work for somebody else would be just to gain resources, because it's really, in most cases, I don't think there's really any case where you'll be happier working for someone else than doing something that you really want. Because you can try to make money doing anything that you want to do. So I don't understand why, as somebody with all options open, you would try to do something that isn't exactly what you want to do. It just doesn't make sense. Because it's easier and it's what most people do. You have to be more creative. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and talk to people and get excited about stuff and all that. I just feel like I guess you have to have enough confidence and to have the discipline and everything to be willing to make yourself the happiest you can be, I guess.
Another thing is, as you were saying, it's just better for you. You're also learning all these valuable skills about the world, marketing, and just running yourself better than instead of having someone else manage you. It's a good leadership opportunity. Yeah. That pretty much wraps up this first thing. Unless anyone else has anything they possibly want to say about starting a business young.
I think that's it. It's just exciting.
Remember
to think about.
To like, comment, subscribe, and share. We need to push this out to as many people as possible.
Call to action.
What?
Best marketing, you have only one call to action.
We're doing 4 because we know whoever's watching this is going to be an amazing
If they made it this
person.
long,
that's a good way to end it, because you're talking to about the marketing of it.
Is going to be one after the first 10 seconds. It's just going to slope down. Next time we'll probably have a real mic and probably some more content on the table than just phones on stand.
Maybe that's wishful thinking.
We'll see. This is a humble start to everything.
No, everybody on my job promised they'd listen to it.
Yeah, right. You want the job to do this.
We'll watch the views. We'll see.
I know. I told them, I'm like, I could see exactly who watches and who doesn't. So
they all turned red.
We could probably also see exactly how long they watch. Make sure they watch the whole thing.
You guys watched this for 10 minutes. I see. If you watched it for 10 minutes, I'm gonna yell at you at work.
But if you made it to the end, thank you for watching.
Especially if you don't know Bobby and made it to the end, that's another golden plus. Or if you're not a spying parent, that's also a golden plus.
Yeah.
My parents will probably watch. I don't care.
There'll be a few spying parents.
If my parents watch this, thank you for watching.
They'll learn about how knowledgeable you are.
Made you look so bad right there.
Goodbye.